What's going on, everyone? This is TJ from Focus Trades, and this is Intro to Options Part 2. Now, in Part 1, we kind of focused on, just kind of discussed the basic terminology around options trading, gave you guys a little, preview of the basic concept, what it entails. And today, guys, we're just going to focus on why you should focus on options. Now, I can confidently say and humbly say, and from my own experience, I can say that if you're starting trading with a small amount of capital, guys, there's just simply no better way to rapidly compound that amount into larger amounts than trading options. They simply offer, returns that cannot be duplicated really in any other kind of market instrument. So, with that being said, guys, Part 2 is why you should trade options. Now, let's get right into it. This video comes with a good timing. So, as of this recording, it is December 30th, and let's take a look at a trade I had 2 days ago in Netflix on December 28th. So, just look at the notes of this trade real quick, guys. On December 28th, which was Thursday, at around 10 a.m., I bought 10 190 strike calls on Netflix that expired January 5th, and I paid $2.27 each. What does that mean? So, as we said, kind of in the first video, we got a little bit into the terminology, and this is just a good opportunity to revisit it. So, the first thing we'll look at here is January 5th. What does that mean? Simply what that means is that, when you buy an option, guys, you're basically buying a contract, and this contract that I bought expires next Friday on January 5th. So, come January 5th, it'll either, the trade will have either worked and I'll be at a profit, assuming, mind you, I hold on to the trade, which I didn't, or it'll fall below that strike price and it'll be at a loss. So, guys, that's what January 5th means. Again, 190 calls. What does that mean? Put simply, guys, I bought at the money options. So what does that mean? I entered my trade right about here. As you can see, Netflix was just above 190. So with my personal strategy, I always like to buy the at the money or slightly in the money options. And in Part 3, we're going to get, really deep into that terminology. But Part 2 is more just to motivate you guys to learn options and kind of show you the, the potential that's there. So that's my strategy. I buy the at the money options. So if Netflix was at 190 or slightly above, those are the options that I bought, guys. So, bought 10 of those calls at 227. Remind you guys, with options pricing, the price that is listed, on the options chain is not the true value. So, each of these calls didn't really cost me $2.27. Instead, remember, the formula is always the price that you see times 10 equals the true value. I'm sorry, times 100 equals the true value. So I bought 10 at $227. If each of these is worth $227, my position size, of course, if I can type here, was $2,270. So that was my investment size in this trade. And again, guys, always multiply, the price you pay by 100 to get the true value. So, I didn't buy 10 that are worth $227 a piece. Got to do that math. They're really $227 a piece, and I got 10. So, just something to cover real quick. So, again, 10 a.m., bought 10 of those calls at $227. So, my investment size, guys, was $2,270. Now, don't worry about if you don't have that kind of capital to deploy. You'll get there. What's more important is, the end result percentage-wise. So, that was 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. And the following morning, on a little dip, at 10 a.m. as well, I sold my 10 calls at $4.30. So, when I put my trade on, I bought 10 at 227, meaning, the size of the investment, the risk was $2,270. Now, the next day, when I turned around, again, you can see here, Netflix had a great day after my entry, continued to trade higher. The next morning when I sold them, they were worth $4.30 a piece. So the value at the close was really $4,300. So guys, to just simply do the math here, 4,300 at close. My, initial investment was 2,270. I walk away with the difference, which is just about $2,000 of profit. Now, $2,000 in a day is awesome. That is great. But here's a true number to focus on, guys. The profit was 90%. In this trade for one day, and I get a 90% profit. To put that into perspective, guys, Netflix stock won't even go up close to 90% over the course of an entire year. So that's something you got to really keep in mind. 90% return is huge. Here's what's great about options, guys. I bought here on this day right here. Let's just zoom out a bit. You can't even see the move that I traded. This wasn't some huge swing, guys, some big turn. You really can't even see the bar that I traded until you really get in there. So the reason I'm bringing this up, guys, and to drive this home is that this bar right here, from here to basically here where I got out, guys, was a 90% return. So don't focus on how much capital you have. Even if you put $100 in here, the next morning you're turning around with a profit of $90. So a 90% return on the at-the-money options calls in this move right here. So this is where you guys should start to get motivated. Options returned 90%. The stock, though, guys, and this is the key right here, in this same move from 190 to 192, Netflix stock only moved 1%. And that, guys, is the power of options. So let that sink into your mind. Had I put my $2,000 into the stock, I would be walking away with about a $20 profit. That's absolutely meaningless. But instead, with the same level of risk, I bought the options instead. Mind you, I'm risking $2,000 whether I buy the individual shares or buy the options. Same risk, same move, and the options are turned 90%. So what you're going to find, guys, is that when you buy the at-the-money options, a lot of times the leverage is insane, like 100 to 1. So for every 1% the stock moves, you're looking at anywhere from 80 to 100% return. And this is how you take small amounts of money without having to take huge risks and quickly compound it. So again, I'm going to keep driving this point home to you guys because it's super important to understand. The risk was exactly the same, $2,000. Netflix stock moved 1% from 190 to 192 with the same level of risk and on the same exact move. Because I instead bought the very leveraged instrument, the options, my return is 90%. So your head should be spinning by now, guys, just considering all the opportunity that's out there. Do you know how often Netflix and other big name stocks out there are going to move up 1%? It's a total non-event. But again, guys, with my strategy and by focusing on where the money is going, we just caught this small move right here, and it's a 90% return. So that is how those of you who are starting with smaller amounts of capital, it only takes a few good trades to kind of move yourself into a new territory. Now, that's cool and all on that little 1% return on Netflix, but this is a great example, guys, of where the big ass money is to be made. So this is XLE, and this is the energy sector. Now, this is a trade that I caught. However, I did not catch all of it. I personally entered right around here and sold somewhere in here. But just to kind of drive this point home to you guys even more, let's take a look. So let's call it, the ETF itself moved from, call it $70 right here to, we'll even round up a little higher and call that 73. So $70 to $73. Now, on a percentage base, guys, a 4% move. Now, for an entire sector, that's a pretty strong move. That isn't something you're going to see, happen every day or every week. But as long as those opportunities are out there, they're things that we can catch. So again, few day move here, XLE moves 4% plus, and the at the money options, which right here would have been the $70 option calls on XLE. Guys, those went up about 400 to 500%. So to drive that home, $1,000, I'm sorry, $100 goes to 500. What would you rather have? You could have invested $100 into, the shares of the ETF, XLE, and you would have had a 4% return. So, $100, 4% gain, you got $4. That's cool enough if you're looking to go buy a gumball, but with the same level of risk, guys, again, nothing changed. The entire strategy is the same. You're monitoring all these setups, the entry points, whatever determines your entries, it's all the same, except when you go to pull the trigger, you're buying something that just gives you the opportunity for much bigger rewards. I personally see absolutely no advantage to buying the regular shares if you're someone who's in a position where you're looking to rapidly grow your capital. And again, I'll continue to repeat this because it's huge. You could have risked the same amount, 100 in the stock or 100 in the options, and over the course of this move right here, you could have walked away with a 4% return or a 400 to 500% return. Again, guys, as you begin to ramp up your capital, what if you invested $1,000 here? In just a few days, in a week, 1,000 could go to 4 or 5,000. That's huge, guys. That's absolutely huge. Or you could have put your $1,000 and bought the regular shares of XLE, and you could have made $40. What is your preference, guys? To me, the risk of trading options, and stock is the same. You're picking the same levels of risk, you're putting the same amount on the table, but when the trades work out, you're looking at, 50 to 100 to 1 leverage. I don't see any reason why any of you or myself would rather have a 4% gain than a 400 to 500% gain. And this should just really get you guys excited for 2018. Because, guys, if this swing right here, if that little swing in the energy sector can provide a 400% return, guess what? That swing could too. And guess what? So did this move right here. Guess what, guys? This move right here, you're probably looking at an even bigger return to the downside. The same opportunity. So in just this one ETF, guys, in just this one sector, I'm seeing 4 or 5, movements here, opportunities that we could have had this year that could have returned anywhere from, call it 2 to 500%. Now, please keep in mind, guys, for those who trade, buy the regular shares of the stock, a good trade is a 2 to 5% return. A great trade could be a 10% return. In a huge trade, you're talking, 20% plus. With options, guys, an okay trade is 50% return. You put in 500, your profit's 250. A good trade, nothing crazy, but hey, tip your hat, good trade, you're looking at 100%. A big trade, guys, you're talking multiples of 100, anywhere from 500 to 1,000% return. And these are available to us left and right all throughout the year. As a stock trader, when you buy the individual shares, understand, how much capital you have to have, and how big of moves you have to catch, guys, to make any headway. So let's say you're a teenager, you're a young person, you've been saving up, working, jobs, and you got $1,000 to trade with. Now, I would never suggest putting your full 1,000 in one trade, but let's just assume you had enough capital where you could put $1,000 into a trade. This was a big move in Netflix. This was a sweet ass bar, guys. You could have caught it, to the best of your ability, and only walked away with a 1% return. So to simply double an account by buying the regular shares, just think of how many trades you'll have to catch. It almost makes the game seem a bit impossible in terms of taking small capital and ramping it up quickly. But options make that absolutely possible. Again, guys, this right here was a 90% return. if I move back on this chart, you can't even really see what I traded. So as someone who's going to buy, the regular shares of a stock, you need moves like this, guys, to get decent returns. And then again, we're talking, that's 150 to 190. That's a good size move, but it's nowhere near a 90%, 100% return that options can provide. To get 100%, to get the same return that I got in one day from buying just regular shares of Netflix, this would have to go to $400 in the year 2018. So to accomplish what myself and the others who traded the options on Netflix this week, to accomplish that same 90 to 100% return that we got in a day, if you instead were to buy the regular shares of Netflix, well, now the stock has to double. You can't even see $400 on here, and it's not really possible that a stock of Netflix's size is going to double anytime soon. So whether you have small capital, guys, whether you have large amounts of capital, options just provide us the opportunity for insane returns. You can't take a $1,000 account to a $2,000 account remotely anywhere in a short time frame by buying, the regular shares. And if you do, you're going to have to risk the entire amount on some speculative bio weed stock. Instead, guys, there is just so much opportunity to be had in the options world. And again, you're talking the same risk, guys. Options trading isn't any more risky if you just pick your position sizes wisely. So again, I'm asking you guys, you're going to invest $1,000 regardless. Would you rather have a 90% return? Would you rather bank $900, or would you rather bank a 1% return, $10? It's a pretty simple question. So this video was literally only just to motivate you guys on the opportunities of options. 90% return in one day, guys, is huge. I don't care if you put in $50, if you put in 500, if you put in 1,000 or 5,000. And again, that was just this move right there. So start to get motivated. How many times are big name stocks going to move up? A little 1% move. It's going to happen all year, guys. This right here, that's a huge opportunity. That's a trade right there, guys, that can make your year. That's the kind of trade you put in $100 and it's worth 500, 600, almost 1,000 a week or so later. So for those of you with smaller capital, if you're just starting out trading, or if you even have some experience under your belt, I just strongly suggest in 2018, put some of your focus onto learning the options game, because the amount of opportunity that is available to us is just simply staggering. I look at the sheet here that has all the individual sectors in the market. Guys, in 2018, there are going to be multiple opportunities in each of these sectors every week, month, and quarter. So it is no exaggeration, guys, to think that you could start this year with $1,000 and end, so much further ahead, 10, 15,000 plus. Who knows? The opportunities are absolutely endless, guys. But if this move right here is a 500% return, then guess what? So is that. And guess what? So is that. So literally, in the same exact time period, we've had 1, 2, 3 opportunities. And these aren't even stocks, guys. These are just sector ETFs as a whole. 3 opportunities in the same time frame, in the same time of the year, where you could have made huge returns. I'm talking 200 to 500 plus, guys, by simply focusing on following the money. So if you haven't, head to the YouTube channel and check out the Follow the Money strategy video. But that strategy is basically useless without the power that options provide us. So make it a goal this year, guys, to master this game. Here's another recent trade of mine. From here to there, guys, that little move right there was a 50% return. And the sector itself did not move that much. So the point that I'm trying to hit home is that you can take the same risk, but instead trade options and just open yourself to huge profit opportunities. So same levels of risk, same strategies, you're monitoring the same things, the entries are the same, your entire strategy is the same, except when you go to pull the trigger and take your entry, why not buy something that's going to offer the opportunity to make 10 to 100 times more than you would just buying the regular shares? To me, guys, if the risk is the same, there's really no reason. So this video was just simply to motivate you guys. In part 3, we're going to jump into the specific strategy that I use to buy calls, which is when you go long a stock. So we can kind of discuss, what I was seeing here on Netflix and what made me take this trade. But part 2 was just simply just motivate you guys. And I know a lot of you aspire, to make good money from trading. All I can say, guys, is be motivated. If you have a passion for trading and you have aspirations of, either making a secondary income or just simply living off of your trading profits in the future, options truthfully just make that, that dream a much easier thing to make a reality for many people. And here's how you guys can look at it. If over the course of a year or 5 years or 10 years, whatever it takes, if you can get to the point, guys, where you can just be taking even, call it $5,000 position sizes, it's kind of game over financially. Now, if you have $5,000 to your name, don't go taking $5,000 position sizes. But what I mean, is a source of motivation. When you have enough cash behind you where, taking a $5,000 position size isn't, a massive, amount of risk in terms of all your capital, it's kind of game over, guys. In one day here, if you would put $5,000 into a Netflix trade, you made about $4,500 to $5,000 in a day. I don't care who you are or what you do, that's huge. If you were in a position where you could have put $5,000 into this energy trade, well, guys, guess what? You made about $20,000 to $25,000 in a week. That's more than enough, most likely, for many people, to make their dreams come true. And again, if you're trading regular shares, to make a good income, to make 6 figures a year from profits on trading the regular shares of stock, you truthfully do need, hundreds of thousands of dollars to trade with. With options, guys, to make $100,000 in a year, hell, you could start off with $5,000 to $10,000 and it's possible. So let this motivate you, especially in the long run, and especially, from my younger guys listening, please take this to heart. Trading is a skill that, if you master, can provide you with financial freedom for the rest of your life. Mastering the options game is just like taking that and injecting steroids into it. And it can drastically shorten the amount of time that it takes to reach that level of financial independence. So let that motivate you guys. There was no real, format to part 2 here. This was just simply to motivate you guys, to show you a few of my recent trades, and in just the last 2 weeks to show you the amount of opportunity that has been presented to us. So part 3 is coming your way soon, most likely tomorrow, as I'm going to end this and work on it right now. And, as you guys in the group know, I cannot wait for what's in store this year. I have big goals, and I think everybody involved this year with Focus Trades should have big goals as well. My original goal was to turn 30,000, really 25,000 into 300,000 from November of this year to November of this year. As it sits, that 25 is worth a little bit over 50, in about the last 8 weeks or so. So off to a good start, guys. But as I continue to kind of hone, in on my process and my skill, I'm learning where to focus, and I'm just truthfully starting to understand, how much fucking potential is really there. So be motivated, be excited. If you are not a member of Focus Trades yet, guys, I suggest you take a look at the website, focustrades.com. And again, it's $99 to join us for an entire year. If you're unhappy for any reason, I always offer a money-back guarantee. Out of 130 members, I've had one person ask for their money back so far. So that should tell you something. And again, guys, if my experience and and the team that I have behind me here at Focus Trades, our group chat has so many valuable inputs on a daily basis from some great traders. To put it bluntly, if you can't make back your $99 investment in a matter of a week, a month, whatever, it's $99, guys. if you can't make that back with, what we provide to you, what our team that's behind me can provide to you, in my experience, then either you suck or I suck. And I don't think you suck, and I know that I don't suck, nor does anyone else on the Focus Trades team. So for $99, guys, you can become a member. If not, continue to watch the YouTube videos. You're going to get some value along the way. And to all my Focus Trades members, we have about, today is Friday, so we got Saturday, Sunday. Be ready for the new year because it's game on.